Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back from a brand new video. Today is our video. We are finally back after a truly beautiful Sunday to discuss, preview and predict the St Johnstone game. But before we actually go ahead and do that, as it has been a wee while, let's give the old channel sponsor a wee bit of love then, shall we? And shout out OneFootball themselves, who are back in action, and not only have they done a lot to help the channel behind the scenes, but look at the colour, ladies and gentlemen. Green, no more. That's staunch for you, nation, and staunch for you, OneFootball. And as always, if you do want a free footballing app, that link is down there in the description below. But to business then, shall we? Diving right into the old oppositional preview. We face a St Johnstone side that isn't managed by Tommy Wright, and that is just mental to think about. As I've said many times on this channel, I thought he was doing wonders at that football club, but he's gone now, and the man who's taken the reins will be looking at this game of football versus Rangers as the perfect opportunity and chance to put a wee statement down on his managerial appointment, especially considering the fact they've had a hell of a lot more time to prepare for this match than we have. And the reason they've had more time to prepare for this game versus Rangers, well, 8 Aberdeen players were absolute idiots and the game was obviously postponed. Which, when you actually take a step back and you look at it, means that St Johnstone is coming to Ibrox with only one competitive game under their belt, and that was 10 days ago versus the newly promoted Dundee United. Which, when you actually think about it, yes, St Johnstone have had longer to prepare for this match, but we've been actually out there playing games, building up these players and getting them match sharp. So in a way, I actually think we have the advantage, not St Johnstone, because they are still technically finding their feet in terms of match sharpness. Now though, as we did mention, they have played one competitive match. Let's go and have a wee look at it then, shall we, and see what they could be bringing into this game versus Rangers. And in the opening day versus Dundee United, they actually showed that togetherness and that grit that was known from a Tommy Wright St Johnstone side in this game versus Dundee United, because they fell behind 5 minutes in away from home to former Rangers man Nicky Clark's penalty, but they responded and they got themselves back into the game on the staunch 55th minute despite being down to 10 men after Michael O'Halloran was sent off, which is also staunch. But beyond the grit to be able to get back into a game when you are down to 10 men, something I found very interesting was how they lined up and how they played versus Dundee United, playing a very advanced 3-4-3. And even after Michael O'Halloran was sent off, they still played a variation of the old 3-4-3, which was more like a 3-4-2, if I'm being brutally honest. And when they were getting actually pinned in and going after, they did drop to a 6 defensively, but still had that option to get out. And I felt that was important to mention, because tomorrow, if we see them line up in that 3-4-3, we know exactly what we're going to be up against. It's going to be 6 when defending, but we have to be very careful, because out in that wing position, they possess very quick players, and that's what they try to do. They get the ball, they're not lumping it to a big target man like we saw in our last game. They're going to lump it in the wing position and try and get the ball out wide to do a rapid counter and get the ball swung in to their target man, whether that is Big Callum Hendry or Stevie May. But again, I do want to say, unlike the St Mirren preview where I sat here and we sort of broke down how exactly they were going to play versus Rangers, I can't confirm or deny that this is how St Johnstone are actually going to play versus us, because we didn't get to see if they continued that variation into the game versus Aberdeen. And of course, with Michael O'Halloran being suspended, that is a very pacey player out on the right hand side that is missing, so they might tweak that and change it for the game versus us. But it is going to be very interesting to see if they continue that, draw the team on, hit them on the counter attack, because we like to go very advanced with our fullbacks and go forward, and that might be something they try and exploit in this game. And that's sort of it for the St Johnstone preview. Their manager's been very calm and very composed about coming to Ibrox, hailing it a fantastic opportunity for his young side. But with the oppositional preview now done and dusted, it means we can talk about what matters most, and that is of course Rangers Football Club. And coming into this game, with everything that's going on outside of football, what's happening, there's a hell of a lot more eyes now going to be fixated on this game, because what an opportunity, what a chance to springboard ourselves and create a wee bit of distance. But we'll speak about that more during the press conference recap, because Steven Gerrard actually addressed it and talked about it. So we'll continue that discussion for there, because I want to look at it from a footballing perspective regarding us, because coming into this game versus St Johnstone, things probably couldn't be any better than they are right now. Touch wood, that continues. Because we've been brilliant defensively, and it deservedly needs to be highlighted and spoke about, ladies and gentlemen, because the clean sheet streak just continues and continues. The only goal we've conceded from pre-season to where we are right now was in the Europa League, and it was away at the Bay Arena versus Bayer Leverkusen, and even then we only conceded one goal. Not a bad wee record, ladies and gentlemen, for a couple of players that apparently can't defend. And on the flip side, going forward, we've done very well in the last 2 games as well to break down 2 teams that had no interest in going forward, who just packed their box time and time again and tried to frustrate the life out of us with that low block that killed us in the second half of the season. Yes, you could maybe say it's a bit frustrating we don't score as many goals as these great chances we're creating per game. But to me, the way I actually look at it is at least we're now creating these opportunities on a consistent basis versus these types of teams and these types of tactics. So I'm seeing massive positives from the first 2 games of the SPFL season from us. And talking more about the attack, and I think a lot of credit has to be given to our 2 wingers at the football club, and I'm saying wingers like that, by the way, because if you've seen us even play a couple minutes this season, you'll know our 2 wingers have played absolutely everywhere bar on the wing. And that's not a knock, that's not a dig at Kent or Hadji. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's not their job to get out wide and stretch the teams out. That's our fullbacks role. BB on one side, Tavernier on the other. They're our wingers, let's be brutally honest. The opportunity and the chance that's been given to Hadji and Kent is to go inside the park and just have complete freedom to go wherever they want, but as long as it's meaningful and unlocking these low blocks. And to me, they're doing a fantastic job, and that's why I wanted to mention both of them, especially Hadji, who I've seen a couple of comments saying Hadji's been a wee bit disappointing or a little bit underwhelming so far, but in my personal opinion, he is doing exactly what Steven Gerrard wanted and us as fans wanted him today, to get inside and create opportunities. Has he scored or assisted yet? No. But you can see, if you've seen us play even a couple minutes, he's constantly on the go and he is helping to create these opportunities. And to me, he's one of the key reasons we are creating these opportunities we are per game. And just going into this game, I can't look beyond these 2 players again as being absolutely vital on unlocking what I'm sure will be a very, very stubborn and deep defence facing Johnstone. Now, with that being said, I think it's time to jump over to the old press recap then, shall we, and see what Gerrard has talked about and said ahead of this game versus St Johnstone tomorrow. And right off the bat, as we mentioned earlier on in today's video, and as a lot of people clicking on today's video will be expecting, a lot of the press conference was dominated by the potential chance that Scottish football would be paused, which I now think is a bit irrelevant because we now know the outcome of what's happened from these idiots' mistake. There's games postponed for Aberdeen and there's games postponed for Celtic. There, as I'm currently recording today's video, no talk of pausing the Scottish football season now. Now, I know there's further statements expected and potential other punishments to come, but in my opinion it has to be the individuals and the individuals' clubs that are punished, not the entire freaking league. But if I'm honest, I didn't want to go too deep into this rabbit hole because the Celtic player in question is absolutely pish and irrelevant, so just punish him and the club and be on with it. Why should we and the clubs that's actually controlling and respecting the rules be punished for slackness and stupidness elsewhere? So I'm not going to go any deeper than that and say what Celtic should do or if Celtic should do this and this and this. I don't care about Celtic, right? All I'm looking at from a Rangers perspective now, they're not playing games for the next couple of weeks, right? We know the pressure that is on season. Let's capitalise on this idiot's mistake and build a wee bit of momentum for himself and see how they like to chase the pack, because let's be brutally honest, they know how to do that for a very, very long time. So ignore all the other noise, ignore all the irrelevant pish players that suit their breaking the rules. Focus in on our jobs, do our jobs, and that should be enough. Now, what I do want to talk about further, however, is about the game tomorrow. And Steven Gerrard was asked if there was going to be changes made to the starting 11 for this game versus St Johnstone, and he was very blunt and very quick to say yes, there will be changes, which I do find very, very interesting and very intriguing, and I just love to talk about this type of thing with you on this channel, because what changes do you think should be made or could be made for the game tomorrow? Naturally, you might think maybe take Leon back out of this squad because it's only been a couple of days, but if you saw the entire press conference, Gerrard spent a lot of it talking up Leon Balogun's impact in the team and how important his pace is to the Rangers setup and how his pace allows Rangers to push teams all the way up and actually have our centre-back sitting on the halfway line without the worry of getting caught because we've got 2 fast centre halves. So in my mind, I don't think it should be Leon Balogun. I think we should try and continue to develop this partnership between him and Connor Goldson. But elsewhere, does this mean there's going to be some changes regarding the all forwards? Are we going to get to see Roof start? Are we going to get to see Big Cedric start in this game? Or do we continue to rock and roll with the hot hand in the SPFL right now and stick with Alfredo Morelos after the man finally got his goals his performance deserves? What do you think watching today's video? What changes do you think should be made? Get involved down there in the comment section below. Whilst you're hopefully getting your thoughts and opinions out there, I'll continue on with today's video and tell you someone who will not be given a chance to play tomorrow, and it's unfortunately Greg Docherty, as Steven Gerrard confirmed that there is teams interested in the laddie, and now Greg Docherty has a decision to make on where and what he wants to do. So I think that right there is the final indicator we've been waiting now for a long time. Whether or not Greg Docherty has a future, we now have our answer, and it's no. And with that being said, that's the end of the old press conference recap, and now we get to some team news. Stephen Davis and Hollander is expected to be back in amongst, obviously they were rested from the last game after their comeback injury game, just to manage them carefully, make sure they didn't re-aggravate any of the injuries that they had. They are expected to be in amongst it tomorrow, but there's been no other word at all about Jermaine Defoe, Alan McGregor or Ross McCrory, who we spoke about in the last preview video of all having niggles. Not one single question was about our players' updates, so we just didn't get one at all. So that's brilliant for this part of the video, eh? But with that being said, that's us all done and dusted. That is the oppositional preview. That is the press conference recap. And that's a couple of things I think is very interesting to look into for this game tomorrow. Now, all that's left is for me and thee to put our coconuts on the line and try to predict a game of football. And while you're getting your predictions out there, I'll give you mine very, very briefly. I'm expecting more of the same from Rangers. I'm not really expecting St Johnstone to be very very extravagant in how they're going to approach this game, especially with only one competitive game in. I think they are going to be slightly off the boil, and I think we are going to take that right to the bank. So I'm actually going to go with Rangers 4, St Johnstone 0. The exact same as what I said for St Mirren. But this time it's going to be correct, people. My goal scorers are going to be Tavernier, dirty double. That's right, I think he's going to score 2 in this game. And I actually think it's going to be a very interesting one. And I think Cedric is going to get on the score sheet, but so is your boy Alfredo frickin' Morelos. That's it, people. That's us done and dusted. Now it's time to jump over to Twitter and hear from the people. So over to Twitter then, and there's been 2,216 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. 1% votes for the draw, 1% votes for St Johnstone, but the far and away winner with 97% of the vote is a Rangers home win. Wait, does that even... that doesn't add up to 100. Does it? Oh, Craig. Glitch in the Matrix. But moving away from the potential glitch in the Matrix, Peter Ramsey is the first one in, and he writes in Rangers 3-1, Morelos, Jack, and Captain Tavernier. Matt writes in 3-1 win. Clean sheet streak comes to the end. I don't know if I messed that up, but I'm continuing it. And he goes Morelos, Itten, and Big Kent with the goals. David White is the next one in, and he writes in, I'll shout 4-0 to Rangers. Filthy Morelos hat-trick and a glorious Hadji free kick. Adam Skay Gaming YouTube writes in 5-0 to Rangers, Morelos hat-trick and a Hadji dirty double. Paul Davidson writes in, if it goes ahead, 4-0 to the famous, it's going ahead, mate. Don't worry about that. Dickie writes in Rangers 3-0, Morelos double and Big Cedric to get his first goal for the club. Dale Valentine writes in, I'll say 3-0 to Rangers, another clean sheet, Morelos, Hadji and Ryan Jack to score. People have said Ryan Jack has been lazy this year. Prove them wrong. I thought he was absolutely sensational in the last game. Must have missed that. Rab Ross is the next one in, and he writes in 4-0 to Rangers. Can see us making a really good start, getting a couple of early goals, another 2 goals in the last 20 minutes of the game to seal the deal. Alfie West is the next one in, and he writes in another 3-0, another Alfredo double with Cedric to get his goal. Also, Jay simply writes in 4-0 to Rangers. Hopefully Morelos gets another dirty double. And the last one we'll read out in tonight's video. We'll scroll all the way up here, we'll scroll all the way down here, and we'll stop right here. And it comes from Nick. And Nick writes in, I think it'll be 6-0 to Rangers as long as we get the game knuckled down quickly. Going to go for Morelos to score 2, Hadji to get 1, Tav to get 1, Goldson to get 1, and Balogun to get 1 as well. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people, you've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. And as always, I've been TJ Nova92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.